Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. It's time for us to close out the show. Everybody has an opportunity to close it out with their rant and their closing. And of course, our special guest of the night, our sister Jody Smith. You got the mic first.
Okay, this is Jody Smith, the queen of JMM. That's my mixtape. You should get that. Hit me up on all of my social media outlets. Facebook, you can catch me on Jody Smith. My fan page is Jody Smith Music on Twitter and Instagram. Jody_804. Just to be clear, that Jody is Jody, okay? Twitter and Instagram, Jody_804. YouTube is Jody Smith Music. SoundCloud is Jody Smith Music. Reverb Nation is Jody Smith Music, I think. But anyway, I'm sorry, I don't do Reverb Nation anymore. But anyway, check me out. I got a brand new video just released. It's number 4 on JMM. It's called Riding Around. My homie shot and directed that. I got all my peoples in it. Check, that's on my YouTube page, which is, again, Jody Smith Music. I have a show coming up on the 12th. It starts at 7:30. 7 beans at the door. That's $7 for the people that don't know what 7 beans means. It's at Taste at Infusion, okay, which is in Richmond, Virginia, off Roseneath Road. Check that out. More projects coming. Stay tuned.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. It's been quite a while since we had this brother come in the room and, close out the show. Every time he's here, I get real thirsty. I be thirsty for just a little bit of that pimp juice. Mr. 3375, close us out, brother.
I got to say, tomorrow is it's a big day, everybody. It's your right whether you do or you don't. But I encourage people to just go out there and vote for what's in your heart. Got some things coming up in 2017 with First Lady. So Richmond, y'all be aware, because me and First Lady hitting the streets in 2017, and we putting the mic in your face.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. It's time for the first time in a month, because he's here the first Monday of every single month, for Big Rube to grab the mic and smash. Big Rube, it's time for you to smash him, brother. What you got?
It's Big Rube. It's a smash. The one thing I have that I hate about elections, especially this particular election, if I ever hear the term Obamacare one more time, it will be too soon. Look, people, don't be uneducated. It is not, you can't look up Obamacare and get what it is. It's the Affordable Care Health Act. That's what it's called. When you call it Obamacare, you call it out of its name. Like, if your name is Steve and I call you idiot, that means that I'm calling you out your name. Do not call the Affordable Care Health Act out its name. First of all, it was created by a Republican governor as Mitt Romney.
Willard.
Yep, Willard. Marcus calls him Willard.
That's his mama call him Willard.
Well, that's fine. Willard. That's fine. It's okay. But it was created by a Republican, which is always funny how no Republican likes it. But he used it in his state of Massachusetts, and it worked fine there. And, President Obama just adapted it for the country. Yes, it has its problems. But you can't blame the fact that stuff is going up on him. It's called the insurance companies choosing to jack things up. That's not the president's fault. That's the insurance company's fault. Don't be swayed by stupidity. Once again, even when he leaves office, you have a whole bunch of idiots who call it Obamacare. I know the president's called it Obamacare himself. Maybe he tried to take it back. I'm sorry, there are just some things that you don't need to take back. It is called the Affordable Care Health Act. Period, point blank. When you call up Obamacare, you might as well be cursing at it. And if you're doing that, you're showing very much disrespect for all those people who have the Affordable Care Health Act, who need it, and are proud to have it. So, please show your intelligence. Don't use the term Obamacare. I call the Obamacare, it's almost like a racial slur. Like calling somebody the N-word. Real talk.
Wow.
Or calling somebody a PM, which I'm not going to use here. Or H, or whatever. It's real talk. Because every time you hear the term Obamacare come out of somebody's mouth, it is a negative connotation. So, don't use the term Obamacare. Be intelligent. It's the Affordable Care Health Act. If you can't call it that, then you don't call it anything. As my mother told me, and I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of other mothers told you, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything else. If you can't say anything nice, just shut up. It's the Affordable Care Health Act. It's this big rube. It's a smash. Don't call it out its name because you don't like when people call you out your name.
You know, Half Stepping with Marcus J, live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio. Before you hear from the First Lady of Legacy Internet Radio and yours truly, at this point of the show every single week, I always leave you with a moment in history. And tonight's history is some real dope history. The day was November 7th. It was in 1989. And there was two firsts. In New York City, the 106th mayor of New York City was elected. He was the mayor from 1990 to 1993. He was the first, and to this date, the only black man to ever hold the office of mayor of New York City. Before entering politics, he served in the United States Marine Corps. He graduated cum laude from Howard University and received a law degree from Brooklyn Law School. He served as a Manhattan borough president before becoming mayor. Under his administration, crime in New York City decreased more dramatically and more rapidly than at any time in previous New York City history. After leaving office, he was named professor of public affairs at Columbia University. He is David Dinkins. David Dinkins, the first and only black mayor of New York City, elected on this day, November 7th, 1989. On November 7th, 1989, this American politician served as the first black elected governor of the state of Virginia. He was also the first black governor of any state since Reconstruction. He served as the 66th governor of Virginia from 1990 to 1994. When earlier elected lieutenant governor, he was the first black elected statewide office in Virginia. Most recently, he was the mayor of Richmond, Virginia. A fellow Virginia Union University alum, my brother and yours, L. Douglas Wilder. First Lady and I and others had an opportunity to spend some time with Douglas Wilder a few months ago right here in the Cap City. We were celebrating a sister of ours' birthday, and in walks Doug Wilder with his cool self. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J, live from the den. Legacy Internet Radio. It's time to continue the rants and closings with the First Lady of Legacy Internet Radio, our sister and yours, comedian S. Lissa P. Lissa P.
Ow, ow. Again, thanks so much for listening, everybody. There ain't no half stepping with Marcus J family. Right here on Legacy Internet Radio. That airs every Monday, which Marcus J will run through the shows for you momentarily. But again, I just want to tell everyone, thank you for tuning in all the time to all of our shows here at Legacy Internet Radio. Again, if we want to talk about support, then of course, like we said, you need to start with your local folks. Yes, start with your local folks, and then we branch out. Again, like Mr. 3375 said, tomorrow is a very important day. It's an important day every day that we wake up. Depends on how we use our time wisely. But as far as tomorrow, we all know that we have to go to the votes. We need to go to vote. It is your right. Take somebody with you if they need a ride. Try to be available if you can. And regardless of what the turnout will be after 11 p.m. or on the 9th, again, we have to stay civilized. We have to be an example. And again, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, then you should be just fine. But again, if you could help and teach someone along the way, please do so. So again, check out everybody here at Legacy Internet Radio. Check out what they have going on. Jody Smith, check out all her events that she has going on, and to cop that JMM.
Yes, you should, because it's dope.
But again, love to each and every one of you. Peace and endless blessings.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. Thank you to everybody who is listening and rocking with us. I'm going to get us out of here quick. At this time of the show, we always profile a missing and or exploited child. Tonight's no different. We're looking for Corey Andrews Graham. He's been missing since November 2nd, 2016 from Virginia Beach, Virginia Beach, Virginia. He's a 14-year-old black male who stands 5'5", weighs 167 pounds. Last seen wearing green shirt, khaki pants. He may be in the need of medical attention. If you've seen Corey Andrews Graham, please contact the Virginia Beach Police Department at 757-385-8175 or hit them on their website, messagingkids.com, or call them at 1-800-THE-LOST, 1-800-843-5678. You're listening to the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio, Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Hear us every Monday night at 7 p.m. Tuesdays we have in live in radio. Wednesdays, we have the Urban Serengeti and Absolutely Alphas. On Thursday, we have All Throttle Radio. Fridays, we have the Woke Squad. Saturdays, we replay our shows. And we also have the Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Mix. But at 2:30 in the afternoon, we play I Got Something to Say, featuring our brother Tavon, who was here with us earlier tonight. On Sundays, we have Amplified Gospel, play gospel music all day until 6 p.m. when we pick up and start playing the show Twa After Dark. And then, of course, going into Monday morning where we play just more music. Anytime we don't have a live show, we're playing music, so we appreciate those folks who support Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J, the flagship show, as well as all the other shows right here on Legacy Internet Radio. So I appreciate you. At this time, I will close it out with my rant and with my closing. Just give you a little bit of history with regards to how I see the parties and the election and all of that kind of stuff. It's kind of taking you back to the beginning of the Republican Party. Started with Abraham Lincoln. He wanted to unify the country. He didn't care how he did it. He preferred not to free the slaves, but he did it strategically to cripple the South. His position caused him to leave the Whigs, which made him the very first Republican, which is reason actually why the Republicans are sometimes referred to as the Party of Lincoln. Now, once the 15th Amendment was ratified, 1870, blacks were allowed to vote, would typically vote in Republican out of loyalty to Lincoln. Although he didn't want to free the slaves, ultimately he did, and that's really all that mattered. Democrats at the time were furious because they were comprised mostly of Southern racists and bigots who had no intention of integration or freedom for anybody who wasn't white. Fast forward to the 30s and the Depression. FDR was universally loved by the poor people because his plans and practices that were kind of about the rise out of depression, and many knew his socialist practices like welfare and Social Security, which is pure socialism. Even though this country hates socialism, those are basically socialist practices, but I'll digress. But even rich folks were affected by the Depression, so they didn't really care. FDR was elected to 4 terms as president. And then you had the 22nd Amendment that was ratified specifically to keep any president of the United States for more than 2 terms. Fast forward to the 60s, you had the Civil Rights Movement. Democrats had the good fortune of actually being in office at the time, but it was the Republicans who were in the lead of enacting civil rights for everybody. The white face of that was LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, president. He was kind of an asshole racist, but he was politically savvy. And he once said that if you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you picking his pocket. He actually said that. And some white folks actually still believe that to this day. Republican Congress set forth the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Johnson signed it, which basically wrapped up the black vote for the Democratic Party to this day. The Republicans had some racist elements at the time and recruited what was known as the Dixiecrats, the Southern Democrats who hated black people, hated integration, and hated civil rights, into the Republican Party, slowly switching the parties from the Democrats being known as the obstructionist racists of the late 1800s and the early 1900s, and the Republicans being known as sympathetic, to the present, where the Republicans are being known as the obstructionist racists and the Democrats known as being sympathetic. We got this saying in the hood: not all Republicans are racist, but all racists are Republican. Of course, there's some nasty ass racist Democrats, but it's really about your perception. And when weighed against history, it's also about who we dealing with on an individual basis. That's my Murr. Marcus's unrelated rant that has nothing to do with what we talked about tonight, but it kind of had everything to do with what we talked about tonight. It's the end of the show. Thank you. Facebook Live, thank you. Tune in, thank you. Legacy Internet Radio. I want to remind everybody that independence is key to building your legacy. I also want to say peace to all the stars and all of the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Those are the words of Bob Marley, who you hear singing in the background. We're going to rerun this show back